If I had to say, when I hit 25, I don't know if my mortality is what shifted or understanding that I could die, but it's something that shifted. I was kind of touching on. I wasn't sure if it was biological or it was a mental change, but I knew something was different, right? Where I did not view it as just conquering women or just trying to get as many women as possible. It was more so about what maybe I guess got exhausted from doing it too much. It was more like what else is there to this interaction, right? And then from there, I was able to develop like what intimacy looked like, what actually, you know what I'm saying, like really connecting with women is like. So I run back to being conflicted about is it nature or nurture, or is it some type of weird twist of both? But when you were making a reference earlier to predators, I think you might have misunderstood, or maybe we didn't give good clarity in what we was talking about. There is like a drive response, right? It's like your natural sex drive that it does urge us and push us towards wanting to wanting to get with women. Now, it's a biological thing because all single cell organisms want to push their DNA into the next generation. So I think it's human, but it's like all living things operate with that same thing. And that's not to negate the men that take advantage of women and do all of those things. Like I'm not trying to dismiss that because I think that's deplorable, horrible, and they deserve the worst punishments. I'm not trying to say any of that. I just wanted to be clear that when we were talking about it, maybe we didn't add the proper context to it, and it may have sounded dismissive, but the intent wasn't to make y'all come off as objects or whatever. We were just trying to give a general perspective from how we saw things. So
No, it
hopefully
was
that
me when I
cleared
said
it.
the word bitches.
All right, go ahead, Precious.
Okay. So I do believe that there are a group of men who put a lot of value in conquering women or getting a lot of women, hooking up with a lot of women. I think that speaking to what Marcus was saying, that biologically, you know, men can make a baby a day. I mean, y'all could just spit them out, whereas it takes us, 9 months, right? So I think that after a certain age, men are not they don't have that drive. Like Market was saying, they don't have that drive to continue to do that. I've had people in my family, military, you married to this woman. Now you married to this woman. Now look, is the woman he with now, that's gonna be the woman. Because he just not ripping and running like he was when he was in his younger years. I think this is where, and I believe either Andrea said it or maybe Ali said it, this is where men need male coaches, right? So if you're young and an older man is seeing you go down this path of, you only thinking about women, you only chasing the draws, you only trying to get in their pants, you really not trying to have no future. You're not being honest with women on why you're with them or why you're interested in them. You just see some ass and titties and that's just what you're going after. I do think that men need other men to hone them in, to teach them, to coach them into, and grooming them into being men. Even if marriage is not the goal, just being responsible with their seed, just being responsible where, they are laying the pipe because, you know, a lot of times men don't leave the children, they leave the woman. And it may seem like they leaving the kids because they leaving a woman because that's what comes with it. But I truly believe that men do need other men to speak to them. There's nothing that a woman, I don't believe in my perspective, that a woman can naturally tell a man on how to be a man. So I think that's where the men come in at. But I do think that, yeah, there is, I mean, we've all been in high school, middle school, college. You see men who are just after getting women. That is just their objective. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it, but what it does do is it does breed a group of women who see men and not necessarily value men for who they are because that's the value that they're putting out there. So you have women that'll be like, "Oh, men ain't shit. He ain't nothing." Um, I'm not getting married. I'm not saying that for any women on the panel. I'm just saying those are the things that you hear when a man's goal and objective and their only goal and objective is to put another, hole in their belt notch. That's what I think.
And I want to say this as a man. I'm not gonna say every man, but there's another level after just run around getting women, because me personally, my social value comes from turning down women, because I have an understanding that y'all are batshit crazy. So I can't be I see when you get to that understanding where having all these different women or chasing all these different women is going to have you looking crazy or feeling crazy, or a bunch of kids or a bunch of whatever, you realize, like, no matter what, because that drive is still there, but this start changing, and you start looking at women like, nah, I need to chill out a little bit because these women crazy. So stalkers, just all kinds of shit. So you learn as a man, sit your ass down somewhere. So I'm not saying I'm running around turning women down left and right, but there is a new level where turning women down will have dudes you around like, oh shit, damn, what about her? Nah, I'm good. They like, what? I'm good, man. And they like, damn, I wish I could get her. And we're like, nah, you good? I'm good. So that's another level of the social hierarchy that some men, I don't know, don't get to. But I don't give a shit. I don't want it all. Like, leave me alone. Y'all, that's
Marcus,
crazy.
I don't know. I don't know why you apologized for making it seem like you objectified women, because that's what you did. That's what I did. That's what happened. It's 10 toes down. I'm not
I did it.
apologizing for telling the truth. I don't condone it now. I made it clear that that's not a cool thing to do, and that's not what I would advise anybody to do. But of course, it's 10 toes down. That's what happened. I'm explaining to people exactly how it goes. This is part of the problem. But if you don't realize at some point in your life you didn't do things the right way and you can't articulate that, then how do you even talk about growth?
How do we realize it's the problem when we call men who get married like simps, or like Russell Williams? He publicly shows like PDA, and they say you're a simp.
What's who he got with?
So Trev, I was apologizing for
Future's baby mama.
so anytime I'm trying to explain something to somebody,
get like second chances. Go ahead.
Anytime I'm trying to explain something to somebody and I don't feel they quite got what I was trying to say, I try and lead with some form of especially if it's a contentious situation, some form of gratitude so that they can understand I'm not trying to say nothing to hurt you. I really just want you to understand where I'm coming from. So if you felt that we was talking about y'all in a predatory manner, that was not the intent.
But you
So it
weren't.
wasn't so much
Sometimes it
as
just
behavior.
sometimes it just listening slow. It is what it is.
Can I say
And
something?
bitches enjoy being bitches.
Hold on,
Y'all ain't bitches.
y'all. Hold
But
on.
some women enjoy that. So y'all got to stop the cap.
Hold on. Go ahead, Andrea.
Okay. So what I was gonna say is that, like, even the way that y'all are like joking about it, like calling women out of their names, like, I haven't heard any woman on this panel tonight call any man, whether generalizing or talking about anyone specifically on this panel, I haven't heard them call any man out of their name at all. So the fact that we're talking about this topic specifically, it's excusable to call women and refer to them as bitches, is basically confirming what we were saying about the predatory type of behavior, or just behavior that is malicious when it comes to women. And Marcus, I'm not saying that this is you. I'm not generalizing this at all. I'm being very specific when it comes to like what I'm hearing being said from certain individuals' mouths on this panel. So this isn't really directed to you. It's just the fact that, like, even with the reference to what was it, hide and go get it, or go get it and go something. It was like catch it and go, whatever it was.
Catch a girl, freak a girl.
Catch a girl, freak a girl. Is that what it's called? You don't think that sounds predatory?
I never heard of that in my life. I never played Catch a Girl, Freak a Girl.
We played that game.
Who said it didn't? Who said it didn't? I just was explaining what the truth is. I didn't make a joke about it, right? It wasn't a joke. I explained what happened. I said that's what happened. I said it wasn't cool. I said men from young receive accolades for it, and that's real. That's real. It probably still happens to an extent. That's all I was saying. And secondly, I didn't refer to any woman as any derogatory term the entire night. There's a zero. I said the B word 0 times.
Okay,
so if you're referring to somebody, then tell them directly. But it certainly wasn't me.
Well, let whoever she was talking to speak up. But I will say, Marcus, Mr. Lego was apologizing on behalf of, like his behaviors in the past, and maybe just other black men who might have hurt any black woman, and that would have been very good to hear. But then you hear come Marcus like, man, you ain't gotta apologize. That was the past. You done repented. You done did what you did. Like, let that man go ahead and give somebody some sleep at night. It's probably a black woman that needed to hear that.